Hey everybody, Andrew here, headed out to the orchard, and it is about to freeze tonight. Now typically I wouldn't care too much about it freezing in the orchard, but we do have several trees that are starting to bloom. And we don't want the blooms to freeze, because if the blooms freeze, we may lose out on some fruit harvest. So today I'm going to try to do my best to protect the trees that are blooming from freezing. Now there are several ways to protect your fruit trees from freezing. Now the first would be you could basically like build a fire or have heaters out in the orchard. You could also overhead spray them overnight, but that is a difficult setup to do and we are not set up for that. The easiest thing that we're going to do is basically cover all the trees that are in bloom with sheets, different types of fabric. When you're covering the trees with fabric, there's a couple things to think about. Now first, you don't want the fabric to touch the tree as best as you can. Now to prevent the cloth from touching the trees, thankfully we already have deer cages all around all of our trees, so we're just gonna lay the fabric over top. Now if you don't have a tree cage on your tree, what you can do is basically build like a stake system around it using T-posts, bamboo stakes, stuff like that. But remember, it's best to try to keep the fabric cloth off the tree as best as possible. Now when it comes to putting the actual fabric on the trees, I want to do this a little bit later in the day while it's still warm. That way the inside of the tree can build up a little heat. And you'll want to make sure to take the fabric off after the temperatures have gotten above freezing the next morning. That way you're not building up too much heat inside of the tree, and that way pollinators, wind, that sort of thing can get to the blooms. Now you'll want to make sure that the fabric completely covers the entire tree all the way down to the ground. Now if you need to hold the fabric in place at the ground, you can use rocks, pile up some dirt, that sort of thing. Another great thing to have is also lots and lots of clothespins or other type of clips like that. All right, I got the first one on, got one or two more to do. So it's cold, it's raining, it's nasty. I'm doing one more, I'm gonna head inside. Now for more growing tips, tricks, strategies for your orchard, make sure to head over to starkbros.com.